It's Monday morning, Simpsonville, South Carolina, and last night we watched a wonderful cantata put on by Temple Baptist Church, which is now our church home. Southside will always be home to us, but we needed a church locally that we could say was our home church, one where we could love the people here as well as them loving us. And so we feel good to be a part of Temple Baptist Church, a Southern Baptist church here in Simpsonville. It will be our base church. We'll be doing work in other churches and, of course, attending First Baptist Landrum on a regular basis. But we needed a home church, and we've made Temple our home church. Did you ever consider the different meanings of words? Like love. We can say we love ice cream, but we certainly don't mean love the same way we do when we say to our mate or to someone that's very, very important to us, I love you. The same thing is true of the word hate. We can use the word hate, and I hate broccoli, when in fact we don't mean that we want to hurt broccoli or that we don't want to be near any broccoli. It means we don't like it as much as we like okra or something else. Well, for a long time, Luke chapter 14 bothered me because the word hate is used there. Let me read it to you. Luke 14, verse 25. Large crowds were gathering along with him, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father, his mother, his wife, his children, brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Those seem pretty harsh words. I mean, why would Jesus possibly say, in contrary to the Ten Commandments, to love your father and mother, to say hate your father and mother here? Well, because he's not using hate in the same way that we would often use the word hate. He's just saying, if you don't love me more than your father or your mother or your wife or your children. I was put to that test a number of years ago when I first surrendered to the gospel ministry to become a minister of the gospel. My father said to me, Pete, why don't you wait until you're ready for retirement and then become a minister? After all, you have your best earnings years ahead of you right now, and you're moving up the corporate ladder so very well. Well, I had to make a decision. Would I listen to my father's instructions, or would I choose Jesus? Well, most of you know that I chose Jesus. And that didn't mean that I hated my father so that I didn't want to be near him. It didn't mean that I hated my mother so that I didn't want to do anything but harm her or my wife. But rather, I loved Jesus more than my father's advice, and I chose Jesus instead of my father's advice. Never regretted that decision, by the way. So here we have the decision that Jesus must be the number one in our lives, ahead of all other things. That doesn't mean that we don't love our wives or love our husbands or love our children. It just means that we choose Jesus above all other things, even over our own self. Sometimes we have to sacrifice self to be able to serve him. It's not always easy, but it is a true test of a disciple. And when it says carry your cross, I think so many times we think about having to be crucified as Jesus was crucified and the heavy weight of a cross. Yet when you go into a fellowship hall and you have a potluck supper at church and you see all of that fine country food spread out on the table, especially the desserts, I always say I'm going to go in and suffer for Jesus. That's my cross. I've got to go to these potluck suppers. But boy, that's not bad suffering, is it? You see, the cross doesn't always have to mean sacrifice, crucifixion, or pain and suffering. As a matter of fact, I love what Steve Cloud said a number of years ago when he looked me in the eye and we were talking about my first year in the ministry, and he said, can you imagine being paid to do what you love to do more than anything else in this world? He said, that's what it means when you become a minister. You're being paid to do what you love to do more than anything else. That's a great way of looking at things, isn't it? because the cross doesn't have to be burdensome, doesn't have to be heavy, it doesn't have to be painful. It can be doing what you love to do because you love Jesus. That's your thought for the day. I hope that you'll meditate on those words. God bless you and have a great day.